That's the biggest lament I got as a pastor. Parents would come and say, my child doesn't have a close friend.
The last one I want to hit on, and then I want to talk about one last thing before we close out, is relational skills. I think it's one of the greatest blessings of homeschooling. People often ask me, especially we've been doing tons of interviews because the movie, is now out. And people will often ask me, what is your favorite thing about homeschooling? And I always say the relationship that I have with my kids. And it truly is. I really, really, really like my kids. I really enjoy spending time with them. And it's not always easy to build that relationship. And it's not just the relationship I have with them, but the relationship that they have with their dad, the relationship that they have with one another, and then them learning to relate to everyone else around them. I actually, not that I want my kids to ever be hurt by friends, but both of my kids have had hurts, and I'm certain that both of my kids have hurt others. And there's even value in that because it helps them to learn this world's not easy to live in. And if you can learn to get along with each other and you can learn to get along with coworkers, you can get along with just about anybody, and you're going to have difficult people in your life. So how do you teach your kids to have good relational skills?
Yeah, it is critical. And we think about many adults we probably know that really struggle in these areas.
Yeah.
And so things like how to make introductions, how to develop and maintain friendships. Man, that's the biggest lament I got as a pastor. Parents would come and say, my child doesn't have a close friend. How do we help them do that? Knows phone, text, email etiquette, who to date. Preparing for marriage. Those are biggies. And, I think a lot of times our kids they replicate how we interact, not only with immediate and extended family, but our church relationships. And the most critical one is the best training ground with this is just inside of our own home. How we interact with our kids and how our kids interact with their siblings.
Yes.
And we say with our kids, if we can't get it right here, good luck for every other relationship. And so I think it starts with us as parents. We want to have healthy relationships with our kids. Yeah. And the Bible has tons of principles in this area. Colossians 3:12 is one of our favorites that we come back to pretty regularly. And then, there's tons of them we could look to. And are those being played out in our home? And for our kids, we want them to be best friends with their siblings. We tell them that. We want them to spend time together, and we work towards that end.
Yeah. Amen. Relational skills are so very important.